Good morning, everybody. So I'm Corinne Brunet. I'm the Technology Shared Services Director in Vodafone. So there's no need to explain, I think, who Vodafone is. We are one of the leading mobile telecommunication provider in the world. And we started that journey as a very early pioneer with IPsoft 2 years ago. So the purpose today is much more to share with you our experience, what we've learned, and more importantly, what are the outcomes we got through the deployment of Amelia. So the first use case we used Amelia for was for the IT service desk. So basically supporting our employees across the world to solve their IT issues. And we were very early adopters, and our willingness was also to build in-house the skills and the experience to be able to develop and manage this new technology, because we consider that going forward, it's probably very important for us to own some of the intellectual property there. So we created our own team, and I'll explain how we worked in partnership with IPsoft to develop and deploy that solution. Now, 2 years later, where are we? So, as I told you, IPsoft Amelia is now available in 7 of our local markets, each market being a country. She currently is available in 3 languages for us, so English, German, and Spanish. And we have a 58% adoption. This means that 58% of our contact through the IT service desk goes through Amelia. And a lot of us presented a lot of KPIs today. But if you are trying to deploy such a solution, I think there are 2 super important KPIs. The first one is the adoption, because that's going to give you the volume. And the second one is the autonomy, because that's going to give you the cost benefits. So, and you cannot play one without the other. So as you are deploying this type of solutions, you need to have your team on those 2 KPIs. Right now, we are running more than 20,000 chats per month on Amelia. And 53% of the chats are completely handled by Amelia without any human intervention. And then if she's facing a difficulty, or whether she can still handle to a human agent. And we believe that in the next few months, we're going to increase that level of autonomy, and we think we should be close to 65 to 70% in terms of autonomy. The intent recognition is now very good. We are above 90%. And we are covering more than 56 journeys through our IT service desk. In terms of business cases, the way we've done it is that, and again, we started that very early on in the journey, so I guess the rollout and the deployment would be much faster if we were starting today than what was the case 2 years ago. But we did a very quick pilot on 4 types of user journeys. And the idea of those user journeys was to test Amelia on 4 different capabilities. So it was not really driven by any volume. It was really to test the skills and for us to better understand the technology. And then we decided to roll out, and we rolled out in volumes. I think this technology is now ready. If you want to get the benefits out of it, and my predecessor just spoke about it, you need to think about volumes. Otherwise, you're going to have a nice high-tech toy, but you won't get the benefits for your business. In our case, all the operations that were impacted by the deployment of Amelia were already offshored. So our total cost of delivery was already quite low compared to what you would have in Western Europe. However, we managed to get an ROI in 24 months, despite the fact that we started from a very low cost base at the beginning. Parallelly, we have integrated Amelia with 22 of our backend information systems, whether it's our Active Directory, our ITSM ticketing system, and more recently, our HR system in the new development we are doing around that. Now, in terms, again, as I explained, we are running this as an agile project. So at any point in time, I have 7 sprints, 7 scrums of developers developing on Amelia. Each scrum is about 6 people. We are currently ramping up, and we're going to reach 10 scrums team during the summer. We started with sprints of 3 weeks, and we learned through our journey that 2 weeks sprints is much more efficient, because that gives you much more additional functionality faster into the business. So we're currently running on two weeks sprints as we go on. Now, in terms of efficiency or velocity of the development team, we started at about 30 story points per sprint. We are now at 200, and we believe we can still improve that in the next 18 months. Now, what are the lessons learned 2 years later? So first of all, when you start this type of journey, you need to build the team. And when we started 2 years ago, I would have loved to hire experienced cognitive engineer. They just didn't exist because nobody was even clear on what a cognitive engineer was. So we worked with IPsoft on what were those profiles. We tuned those profiles a lot in the past 2 years, but we have now recruited our own team of cognitive engineers. And then we created new jobs in an IT team. The first one is called humanizer. Basically, they are linguist people, so they don't have IT skills, but they come with linguist capabilities, and they're helping us to tune the NLP and to make sure that the language understanding is very good from Amelia. And then the most important role is the people we call the digital coach. Again, they're not part of the IT community. They're coming from the business. So in the case of an IT service desk, they would be your best level 2 agents. And those people are moving from an operational role to a coach role. And every day, they monitor the performance of Amelia, and they tune the performance to ensure that she improves her intent recognition and that she improves her ability to fix the end-to-end tickets. The second big lessons learned is that when we initially developed Amelia, we were trying to reproduce conversation flows that humans would have. And the first thing is that when people chat, it's a very different type of conversation than when they speak. And when they know they are chatting with the robot, they also converse in a very different way. So one of the lessons learned is don't try to reproduce what you think is a natural conversation, because that's not as effective. And try to think about how human interacts with a robot, which again is very different. The third topic is around adoption. Adoption is key. If the technology is performing but nobody is using it, you're not going to get the ROI. And again, the power of artificial intelligence is the self-learning capabilities. And to be able to learn, the machine needs to be used. So one of my recommendations is put a lot of efforts on adoption and internal communication or external communication if you're using Amelia with external customers, because this is really the key for success. Now, the other lessons learned, and again, we started that journey 2 years ago, and we were on the very first versions of Amelia. But as we were developing the new epics, the new journeys, we went in 6 months on 140 new software releases. Imagine the chaos for the development team, which is we are developing new journeys, and then at the same time we are upgrading the solution because IPsoft was permanently improving the product. So we had to synchronize all of the new functionality deployment and the new release deployment. And that was initially a challenge. Then we became really good at that. And if you look at the progress now with CI/CD, those releases are much smoother. Now, finally, again, the key topic is around the tuning and humanization, and that's where you're going to get those key percentage improvements on the ability of the technology to interact without any human intervention, and that's where you optimize your benefits. So that's really what are the lessons learned on our side. Now, what are we working on, and what are the way forward for us? The first one is that we made the decision that Amelia was going to be renamed Toby, and I'll explain why later on, which is going to be our new robot. But more importantly, we're going to extend the use of Amelia to any employee type of journey. So she's not going to support only the IT journey, but she's also going to support the HR journey, the finance journey, the facility journey. And we are going live in 3 weeks with our first HR journey. So to give you an example, in Vodafone, we are using SuccessFactors as our backend in HR. And we have quite a well-advanced academy online where people are doing all their training. The way it works now is that employees will go and talk to Amelia. They're going to say, I want a training on Agile. She's going to ask the employee a couple of qualifying questions. Have you been doing agile development before? How experienced are you? And then you're going to answer, and then she's going to say, based on your experience, I recommend 3 of the courses that are available. The employee will picks the courses. Amelia books the courses automatically on the online academy and puts it in the agenda of the employees. So end-to-end, the journey is much more seamless, and the employee feedback has been really good. The second thing we're working on is that as chatbots are multiplying in enterprise, your employees and potentially your consumers are getting confused because every time they want a different journey, they have to use a different chat. So we've been really pushing an omni-channel strategy where Amelia is becoming the de facto channel people would go to, whatever their type of issues, and they will manage in the back end. Something very interesting as well for us in the employee's journey, because we thought about initially using Amelia as a concierge just to do catch and dispatch. The experience and the feedback from the employees has been super negative, because when an employee accepts to talk to a chat and to a robot, and then after 3 minutes you're putting him through an IVR queue or through a queue to talk to an agent, he's got the feeling he's been abused. So it's super important. I mean, in our case, very clearly, that's where we put so much efforts on end-to-end journeys, because that's where the experience is the best, and that's where we get the best scores from our employees on rating the usage. And then the third topic is something we're working on and that we will be releasing at the end of this month, and that's very related to the intervention of the professor early on this morning, is the way Vodafone is thinking about our commitment as a company towards artificial intelligence. And we've been laying down a couple of very important principles that we call Tech for AI. Tech is transparency. We made the decision as a company that we will systematically inform our customers, our employees, whenever they are interacting, for example, with an AI agent. So we don't want our customers, our employees, to have the feeling they're talking to a human when they're interacting with the bot. So that's a very important principle for us. Ethics, because we are developing our own journeys, we are also very careful as we develop those journeys to be unbiased in the way we develop and not to reproduce human bias in the epics Amelia is going to use. We are putting a lot of emphasis on control and privacy around the information we are gathering regarding our employees. And last but not least, it's about the impact of those solutions on our employees and on the humanity. And we really look at AI as a way to improve the working of our environments of our employees, but also a commitment from Vodafone towards its employees that whether AI is misplacing potentially their jobs, we are repositioning and retraining those people to work on this newest technology. So those principles are very important for us, and I think they're also going to help us moving forward to deploy further this type of technology. Well, that's it for me. Thank you.